Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 10th episode of the Drive Fitness Podcast. Before we get started, I have a few quick reminders. Please don't forget to check out our new website, drivefitness.app. Second, don't forget to check out our Patreon account. It's the best way to support this podcast. There, you'll find exclusive episodes for Patreons only. You can find it at patreon.com/drivefitness. My guest today is Tony Campos. Tony has recently started a marketing company, and he's been helping small businesses with their online marketing presence. You can check out his company at instinctanalyticsmarketing.com. Tony was also an MMA fighter, and he still trains today. So Tony and I also talk about MMA in the second half of the podcast. Enjoy. Okay, so Tony, you have a company called Instinct Analytics Marketing, is that correct?
Yep.
And can you tell us a little more about what you do and your clients and the services you provide them for marketing?
Sure. So I provide marketing for a wide range of industries.
Mm-hmm.
I have clients that are nonprofits. I have clients that are brick and mortar stores. I have clients that provide services.
Okay.
A couple might be a church, a barber shop. I have a photographer. That's great because sometimes we trade services. So I literally use the photographer for other clients sometimes.
That's
and
nice.
Myself.
That's nice. You're building a little network, right?
Exactly. And that's a lot of my company is built that way. So I might not be an expert in every single marketing area. My strengths primarily lie in Google ads, Facebook ads, and Bing ads, Microsoft ads.
Okay. So can you give us a little bit of tips about how to create a successful Google ad then?
Sure. So make sure your targeting's right, okay? Check your frequency rate. How many times is a person seeing this ad and not clicking, right? That's a big one.
So if someone's seeing the ad and not clicking, you're going to stop targeting that person.
Maybe if they see it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. I think the default is set to 5 or 7 on Google. I like to keep it a little lower than that. By 5 times, I think they're not going to click by then, right? On Facebook, make sure you have those lookalike groups going, those pixels on your website so you can track people. Your basic SEO stuff.
Okay, can you go into SEO? Because I've been seeing that a lot. I don't really fully understand that.
SEO is basically how relevant your website is to a customer's needs and search on Google.
Wait, it's search engine optimization, right?
Yes,
okay,
search engine optimization.
Okay, so go on.
You want to build your links out. You want to have people linking to you. You want to be linking to other people. You want to have good content. You want to have a FAQ schema. It's like a whole website layout that Google has tricks that they call white hat tricks, which is we're going to do everything Google tells us to do because that's how we get ranked higher. There's also other techniques called black hat SEO. Gray hat is a thing too.
And what are those?
I'll give you a trick for free. How about that? Okay. So for any business that wants to get more links with .gov or .edu hold more value. That would be your local SEO, right? For .gov, typically, you want to register with the city's website, business websites. There's every city, every county has something like that where you register your business. You want to be linked up to every government entity that you can be because those .org, .gov URLs hold a lot more value to Google.
How do I put my website on someone else's?
You have to reach out. That's the crazy thing, right? You have to reach out. A slight trick I've learned from my own clients is if you offer a scholarship to schools, you can get them to link to you. The power of a university linking to your website is ridiculous.
So could I call UREC at JMU and been like, hey, I'm a JMU startup. Do you want to put my fitness app on your UREC website? You think they would? Or
they might.
Would it be weird if your marketing website, you put to work out? Click on Drive Fitness. And I put marketing, click on Tony's website.
So some websites sell website space. I'm probably not going to do that on my website. You're
not going to whore your website out for me?
I could, yeah. It's, I don't know how I would transition to, let me run your SEO to hey, are you out of shape and need a track fitness? Go to Drive Fitness.
No, I don't think it would work. But that is an example, right, of what we could do.
Right.
You were talking to me beforehand about these Google businesses, like tags. What is it called? The little sheet that says like their address, their phone number, their website.
Yeah.
What is that called?
Google My Business.
Google My Business?
Yeah. It's the new website. It's your first website, basically. The first thing that people see when they search is going to be your Google My Business account. It doesn't have to be a brick and mortar, actually.
Yeah.
One of my clients is a photographer, right? And he has a Google My Business account.
What kind of skills and what kind of tricks have you learned in the Google My Business kind of format?
Keep it updated, okay, guys? You might have multiple Google My Business accounts out there, which is spreading your audience thin. They're putting reviews in different places. You want to keep it all in one place. For all businesses out there that haven't spent on Google yet, they're running a special promotion. Spend $50 on your first Google ad spend, and they will credit the next $100 of spend to you. With $50, you can run a whole month of search, a month of data. You get past all of your learning curves, and then you have $100 to spend on perfectly tuned campaigns.
Interesting. Mm-hmm.
People fail to remember that it's not always about the conversion. It's not always about the sale. Mm-hmm. I know that sounds stupid, right? But I'm not just a salesperson. I'm a marketer.
Okay.
So part of marketing is getting your brand awareness up, creating familiarity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a certain priceless cost that, I recognize that. Like, doesn't that feel good?
Yeah.
When people are like, I think I've seen this before.
So do you think that it's actually worth it to like reach out to an influencer and be like, can you wear my t-shirt?
100%. I literally was going to tell you about influencer marketing after this.
Tell me.
So I really want this for you. Actually, I want this for your app as well. Influencer marketing is one of the most underrated, cheapest forms of marketing right now. You have no clue what someone with 10,000 followers who's a CrossFitter, who only does videos online and has online clients. So what, he only has 5,000 followers. You bet your ass those followers are following him around like a god, probably, right? It's tough because it's not scalable, right?
Yeah.
You have to literally ask every single influencer you know or can find, hey, can you promote this? What will you promote this for? Can I give you 20? Can I give you $200 to promote this? Come up with the schedule for them. Do it for them if need be. Make it painless for them. If you get fit people on there as well, trainers, you can get their workouts, add it into your app. I think you were talking about that a couple podcasts ago.
Yeah,
that's huge. You can have them promote. It's a form of clout too. It helps them out as well. Hey, my workouts are on an app. You know, that people like to see that. I'm sure when they move to gyms, they want to see that.
No, we're working with a trainer right now who's going to help us kind of design the app more for like athletic teams and stuff. And that's going to work two ways, right? It's going to put better workouts into the app, and then also the teams that he works with hopefully will start using it. And hopefully that, if I can get all those kids to buy some merch and tell their friends and stuff, and they're like athletes with a good following, right? That would really kind of put our name out there. So is there any like Facebook tips that you have? I think you said the My Pixel thing.
Your Pixel, definitely have that integrated in there. Get into Facebook groups. You can really start to build lookalike audiences with Facebook groups, and you'll just be surprised how well they work.
Wait, create the groups or just go into those?
You can create lookalike groups if you have enough of an audience already. It basically, Google or Facebook, will just find similar people that are like the people in that group. You'll just find when you have billions of people on a platform, you can find a lot of the same type of people.
Okay. So you seem pretty well versed in your Google advertisement campaigns. Where did you learn all this information?
So I'm certified, and I've done multiple test exams from Google, from experience. You just have to learn and practice it. I'm very fortunate that my 9-to-5 allows me to play with millions of dollars on a monthly basis to, make campaigns and sales happen for their clients.
For your day job, then, what are the biggest skills you've learned, and what kind of tools do you use for your day job?
We use a lot of Google Analytics.
Okay.
While I don't work on websites a lot at work, I do look at website metrics, check in your bounce rates, stuff like that. If someone's bouncing a lot from that page, what's wrong with that page? Why were they brought to that page? I would say the best tips for any search campaign, make sure you have an enticing headline. You have all the extensions you need on an ad. your call extension, your location extension. Use snippets. It's really great for lists. You could list services on a snippet. It would show basically a preview of your website before people jump in.
Got it.
And that helps really, you don't have to have the highest bid to win.
What about bidding on like certain search engine algorithms? Is it worth it? Is there a certain like point that's like, okay, never spend more than X amount of money? I guess it depends on what product you're selling to.
You got to watch, your return on investment for sure. Don't just spend it just because you have the budget. Send out recommendations. Say, hey, maybe like we move more money into display. Maybe we move more money into video. YouTube is huge. I think for you especially, you could definitely do some YouTube advertising. Pre-rolls are huge right now. You can do banners on other podcasts that are similar to you. Banners on the top, midway through the show. You could do a small video before the videos on YouTube. People forget YouTube is owned by Google. You can mad market on YouTube. It's so cheap. Literally, I think a view is about less than 5 cents right now.
All those analytics, right? They can probably connect.
They all connect. What people forget about YouTube is that you don't have to pay until someone watches 30 seconds of your ad.
Oh, so they press skip, then
you don't have to pay.
Interesting. I feel like just from someone who uses YouTube, like their advertisements annoy the hell out of me, so I haven't been jumping on that. But
it's great for brand awareness too,
Yeah, I didn't think about the little banners and stuff though.
Yeah, they're less intrusive.
Or is there a way to get my videos up in the recommended videos list? Like for this, when I put this on YouTube, can I?
Yes.
Because that seems like a more natural way for me
YouTube
to like.
is a search engine.
YouTube's a little slut for putting their videos out, aren't they?
And it's less competitive.
What do I have to do to maybe on a fitness video get the Drive Fitness, podcast episode on the recommended list?
Right. You might want to start clipping a little bit more. I would say that.
Too. That's true
once you get like a clip of, hey, Tommy talks Drive Fitness, Tommy talks Future Fitness, Tommy talks new merch.
Don't promote my hour-long episodes. Clip it and promote those clips, right?
Yeah, the clips will be what get people interested into the whole episode, right? And then now you have a pretty captive audience. You can put your app downloads on YouTube videos. Actually, you can direct people to download from a YouTube advertisement.
Yeah, I was going to wait until I have like maybe 30 podcast episodes to start clipping. And then, because that way I can sit back with like, even I could take 2 clips from each episode, 60 clips, and just start attaching them to all sorts of like keywords and phrases. Like I got really marketing, fitness, technology.
That's sustainable, That's how you like really push a lot of content out.
I feel like the goal too with my marketing campaign is to set things in motion that'll just run without me, right? I mean, so that I don't have to like constantly keep up with it.
Just slight manage, right?
Yeah.
Slight manage.
Okay, so I think the last thing we wanted to talk about is just some of your clients, right? You were telling me specifically you wanted to talk more about the photography client.
Right now, we're in a pandemic. People are trying to grow their business, keep their business alive. I reached out. I said, if you're a struggling business, I can help you out. With him in particular, I did email marketing for him. I used MailChimp, and then we switched to Wix. A great call to action. I got him the emails. We got a form submit on his website. He works with a lot of different types of people. It's great because I get to network, and now he's in my business as well. If I need a photographer for anything, he's right there. He's ready. A lot of countries do this where like businesses literally help each other. We're helping each other grow. We're helping each other stay alive. I started my business during these tough times. One, because I have a talent for it. I think, I do okay. People make money with my marketing. 2, when times are tough, this is what determines who's going to win. Your online presence. If you don't know that already, after the first couple months of COVID, that your online presence isn't hot, that you can't find your damn website. I have a dentist client, and his website was all sorts of fucked. Slow speed. None of his social medias were connected. They had the little icons and links, but they were all 404s. If you have a 404 on your website, just end it.
People aren't going to take you seriously.
It's ridiculous. What are you doing?
I'm not like, a marketing major or anything, but I do think that this podcast is a fucking genius marketing move. And if y'all haven't realized yet, this whole fucking podcast is one big advertisement. Y'all think you're listening to something else, but that's what it is. I mean, I got people like Tony coming on. I got people like Blase come on to promote their music. It's all just one big fun advertisement, and it doesn't feel like one, right? I think that's the genius of it with like Instagram and all this stuff, and I think podcast is like going to be the new Instagram, which is it doesn't feel like an advertisement. You feel like you're just following this person, but they're really putting products in your face all the time. And you're listening to this podcast right now, and it doesn't feel like I'm trying to sell you anything, but I totally 100% am. And
hopefully you learned something on the way.
It's not a trick, right? Don't stop listening.
We're at least being upfront about it.
Yeah, but my point is not don't listen to me. It's that why don't you have a podcast? I'm gonna do a whole episode on this at some point, but I think everyone should have a podcast. Everyone should have something they're promoting, and everyone should have a podcast to talk about the shit that they're promoting and help other people promote their shit.
Yeah.
It should be how the world works.
Guest hosting is huge in podcasts right now. You can get on my podcast when it comes out?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
That's the whole, I wish all my friends had podcasts so I could go. It's not like a competitive thing. It's definitely a collaborative art. You host it, you have your friend on, they have you friend on, your audience hears their shit, vice versa, and that's how it is. I encourage everyone who's trying to sell anything online, any of your clients that you talked about, they could all have a fucking podcast. Like even the fucking barbershop could talk about their cuts. They could cut hair with microphones on. I don't know. I just don't think that there's any business out there that
would not benefit,
and I don't think it would hurt any business either. I think that this is the new ad. Okay, let's wrap up the marketing topic. You used to be an MMA fighter, and you still train all the time, right?
Yes, I grew up doing Taekwondo. That was the first thing I did.
Okay, let's start talking about that then.
Yeah, I was a 3rd-degree black belt. I enjoyed Taekwondo. I did it for like 6 years up until I was 13.
And what kind
It's pretty fast. The Taekwondo routes to get your black belt is pretty fast. You get your black belt in like the first 3 years.
What separates Taekwondo from other fighting techniques?
It's a point scoring. Your kicks are meant to be as far out as possible, and you're hitting them with the actual foot. Versus Muay Thai or kickboxing, you're going to hit someone with your shin. You're using your shin, your knee, all the things you're not allowed to use in Taekwondo.
So that's kickboxing. You're going to use your shin a lot, actually?
You're going to use your shin to hit people. Yeah, because it's a hard bone.
I would assume you use your feet in kickboxing. I mean, that's more Taekwondo then, is what you're saying.
Typically for head kicks, maybe, when you're really reaching out for that distance, you need those extra couple inches to reach. So, I think a cool thing in Taekwondo is there is a certain test where you create your own form.
Oh, is that a black belt type of thing?
I think it was to get into your black belt.
Okay.
You have to show that you can like create your own form and memorize it.
Yeah. No, that's interesting because I always thought of these fighting classes to be like learning styles, but that sounds more like an art class where you're drawing a picture. You're not just copying someone else's picture every day. You're actually coming up with your own take on it. So at some point you moved into wrestling, right?
Yeah. As soon as I got into really middle school, I was wrestling. I would do football. I'd wrestle. I'd go do track. And I'd still go to Taekwondo afterwards.
Mm-hmm. And then eventually you got into MMA, right? What piqued your interest in MMA?
I love martial arts. The reason I moved to wrestling was because I felt like I was chained in Taekwondo. It's like, you feel chained. I'm not allowed to use these arms, these weapons. Mm-hmm. So that's why I got into wrestling. Mm-hmm. And I realized I'm like, I'm actually chained as well because I'm only allowed to like grapple people.
Mm-hmm. Wrestling's more of a child's sport, I guess.
It's definitely a man's sport, a god's sport actually.
You're right.
The angels came down and wrestled.
So maybe it's too civil then. You wanted to punch people though.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to hit someone in the face. That was the number one reason I wanted to do it.
Okay, so you decide you want to hit someone in the face. What do? You start training?
I found this gym. First day, the guy let me spar.
Okay.
And that's when I should have known it's a bad gym.
Ooh.
You should never go into a gym your first day to spar unless you're already a fighter and know what you're doing.
So they were kind of like, this kid doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, basically that's what happened. They let me spar someone. It was just boxing.
Uh-huh.
But they let me spar someone who is at least 100 pounds over me.
Okay.
And 6 foot something. Older guy, but like still fucked me up. I remember getting up at 8 on the count. I've never been knocked out or dropped. That was like a real drop. And I was a kid. So I never went back to that school again. I found my next school was called Vanguard MMA.
Okay.
And that's the one I actually had my fights out of.
Okay.
It took about 6 months before I got to spar anybody at that gym.
Okay, so they treated you right at that.
They treated me right. And they really gave a fuck about me. Yeah.
So you trained for about 6 months, and what does that entail? A lot of boxing, I guess? Since
I
it seems like you have
100% started off with kickboxing, Muay Thai
Okay.
when I was there. Then I gradually got into jiu-jitsu. My wrestling was already pretty strong.
Okay.
It still is. I have a specialty for takedowns.
So is Muay Thai another name for kickboxing, or are they
It's
different?
a type of kickboxing.
Okay. And what defines that?
You're allowed to do elbows and knees in Muay Thai.
Nice. Okay.
Traditional kickboxing, you're not allowed to.
Okay. And you've been doing Taekwondo a lot, so that the kicking is kind of not new to you.
Yeah, I had really nice kicks already, but I just had to learn to transition from my foot to my shin.
What's the trick to hitting a good kick then?
Your angle. I'm not the most flexible person, but if you know how to angle your body, compensate a little bit, you can really open up a kick that would normally land here to up here if you are angled, right? It only takes a couple seconds, like less than half a second of holding your balance.
Are you like kicking up at someone, or are you kind of like swinging your body around and kicking down at somebody?
Yeah, you swing up, and most kicks you cut down.
That's hard.
Yeah.
So what's like a classic combo, like foot, shoulder, or like
a 1-2 kick to low kick? That's probably the most classic thing you can do in Muay Thai.
What's a 1-2 kick?
So it's just jab, cross, and then this hand will cover, and my right leg will downward kick.
So it's a combo of punches to kicks.
Yeah.
Do you ever do like combo kicks where you're standing on one leg and you do like pop, pop, like you do?
Yeah,
two
well,
kicks?
I can do one I kind of like is a low kick to someone's leg, and with that same leg, I'll cut down and then pop it back up to a side kick. I just kicked them in the leg, and now I'm pushing them off their last good leg.
Okay. And is that more like an intermediate move?
It takes a little bit more. You have to be faster with your kicks, pretty comfortable.
You gotta have good balance too, right? I mean, you're standing on that one leg while you do two kicks. If you lose your balance, you're gonna get thrown on your back real quick, you know?
Yeah. Well, my first couple Taekwondo tournaments, I definitely got knocked over, tripped. That's literally what happened. I would give everything into a kick, and the guy would just like sweep me from underneath, and I just fell flat on my back. I was like, this is humiliating. What the fuck have I been training? You know? So slight adjustments you need to make for the next competition.
I think just fighting in general sounds like an extremely humbling art.
I was undefeated.
Nice.
2-0. Decision and TKO. But I got my ass beat every single day in the gym.
Yeah, in training you must.
Every single day was a fight, and if you're not fighting with someone better than you, you're not going to get better. So whether that means they're better grapplers, they're better strikers, they just weigh more than you, so you can't body them.
Yeah, man, I've only wrestled, so like I would get my ass kicked, but I would just get pinned to the mat. Like I've never
pin you, and then they start punching you in the face.
Yeah, I was about to say I've never actually like been in too many fights where it ends with me just getting like pummeled. What does that feel like to kind of just get tossed around, dude, and now you gotta stand back up and do it all over again?
100% humbling, dude.
How does fighting like affect you in your like normal life? Because I feel like you have this calmness to you, like nothing can really get under your skin. And I feel like that might be because of you've been in so many fights, you know, like the normal world doesn't
I just know if it gets taken to that level, I'll be okay.
So you have a level of like confidence and comfortability with like altercations now. You're not.
Yeah, I mean, I've had to stop altercations before, and that's crazy. I once saw a fight at a goddamn 7-Eleven, and this woman was just like getting her head slammed by another woman.
Holy shit.
Against the counter, you know, shit was fucking flying.
Oh, in the store?
In the store.
Oh, shit.
And,
dude.
you know, I was in the back of the line, so I ran up and I just separated them.
Okay.
I was just like, all right, stop, you know, like I'm like underhooking them, just trying to get their shoulders out of there, you know. This lady's still feeding her jabs. I'm like, all right, enough, because I'm going to get hit. I'm putting my body in between now. Or the lady getting her head slammed, right? She had already lost, so
yeah.
The other woman was pretty happy with herself. I think once you see damage, the adrenaline goes away, right? Real life starts to happen.
So you said you were in 2 like official fights, right?
Yep.
What weight classes were you fighting in?
My first one was 145.
So you must cut down from 145.
I did. I cut so much weight. It was so bad. I think on the beginning of that week, I was about 165, almost 170.
Oh, that's gross, dude.
And yeah, 155 was much more natural for me. I felt great. I was able to secure a TKO.
What's that? I don't even know what that
Technical knockout.
Okay.
The ref had to stop me.
Oh, okay.
So,
what round did you knock him out in?
Second round. I took him down a lot the first round, and then the second round I was so confident in myself. I knew it was going to happen that round. I just felt it. You do gain that ability to just smell blood.
Okay. So like when you're fighting, do you train for like 3 months and then fight, or 6 months?
Your fight camp should be between 8 to 12 weeks.
Okay.
I think all the time, because I'm not fighting to lose. Goddamn.
No.
I'm not fighting not to lose either. I'm trying to win.
Yeah. So aside from sparring, like what kind of training do you do before MMA fight to get ready? Like do you do weightlifting, pull-ups and push-ups? What kind of exercises are you doing leading up to that?
Yeah, it depends like where you are with training camp. So early on, lots of weightlifting probably. For me, I like being the stronger guy in the ring. I do cut CrossFit like 2 weeks before the fight.
Okay.
So my abs don't look as good going into the fight, but you just can't be that sore. CrossFit's pretty demanding on your body.
So I've actually never done CrossFit. What kind of is a standard CrossFit routine?
Anything that requires repetitive lifting on high intensity cardio. At my gym, you were running laps, you were doing upside down push-ups, it was on your headstands and stuff like that. We were doing lots of sprints.
Okay.
Sprints, 400 meters, stuff like that. Like 1 minute pushes, going live and sparring for a minute or two. Not the whole round, of course, you know, because it's hard.
Sounds just like crazy circuit training.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
Yeah, you keep your heart rate up, you're burning calories the whole time, and then you're throwing in a little bit of weight training, a little bit of sparring, whatever, just to kind of keep you on your toes and, I don't know, keep all your limbs ready to fuck someone up.
Yep. And you stay flexible.
What is it kind of like to feel that much adrenaline during a fight?
You get a huge adrenaline dump. It is ridiculous.
Dump as in afterwards or like in the moment, right?
A little bit of both,
okay.
Right? In between rounds, you might feel the adrenaline start to like fade a little bit, but it is crazy after your fight. You are almost intoxicated. You're the cockiest you've ever been, especially if you knock someone out. I remember we had interviews afterwards, our fights,
That's
and
badass.
I was just like, I'm about to tell him I'm the best, coach. I'm about to really do it. I'm about to Chael Sonnen this. Chael Sonnen's a big shit talker. He's like Conor McGregor.
I was about to say you're about a McGregor.
Yeah, I really was, and my coach was like, "We don't do that here, okay?"
Ooh.
And I was like,
That's some sensei shit right there.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, he's an ex-Marine, so.
Oh, okay. Nice. Have you ever experienced the same adrenaline rush in normal day life ever, or no? Like, have you ever, maybe a car accident or something, I assume, but like probably nothing comes close to that fight level.
Really, no. That is like full fight stimulation.
Does that lower your adrenaline for other things? Like if you played paintball, my adrenaline might go through the roof, but you might be like, this is nothing compared to being in the ring.
Yeah, it probably gives me some sort of plateau, right?
Yeah. Or just like a baseline.
I still get excited from shit. I'm not boring.
I'm like, you're boring now. Nothing else you do is cool.
I can't punch you in the face. This is no fun. I get adrenaline rushes from video games and stuff like that. So,
or like, what if you watch a fight? Since you've been there, are you like, ooh, I know what that's like?
Watching fights is, I know I have more sympathy now because I'm like, dude, that dude's getting so fucked up. I know how that feels. I remember watching my friends fight. That's tough. You get adrenaline.
Yeah.
You get adrenaline from that because you really just want to be in the ring with them.
But you can't. Yeah.
You can't.
You're like a dog behind a fence.
It really is. It's tough.
That's rough, dude. Okay, so what are some of your favorite like styles and favorite combinations in those styles?
So like I always love doing strikes into a takedown.
Okay.
I've always been a big takedown guy.
Okay, so a strike into a takedown is like you're hitting them in the face and then you're going in.
I might double jab them, cross them, and then drop levels real quick.
And then grab a
last double, both legs typically. I like double legging people.
And they're putting their hands up here, and then their vision gets messed up, so you hit the legs.
Yep.
Is that it?
Basically it. If they jump in close too, I can always duck under them and take them down. I have a really good takedown. I just trained my takedowns from every single position. I would try to practice. If I'm sprawling up out of here, turning around, or if I'm shooting a jab, what's the best takedown I could do in this position for me?
Okay.
And that was the best way, I think, to really practice these.
So you knew your strengths. Like the takedown was your move, so through every other style, you're trying to figure out what could land you a takedown, basically.
Exactly.
Nice.
That's what I wanted to get people on the ground to punch them in the face.
Okay.
While I was on top.
What combo was the best with your takedown? Like a boxing punch or kickboxing or
Yeah, it was typically boxing.
Yeah,
I fell in love with boxing later into my MMA career. I had a really great coach that taught me some great drills and techniques. So I train people, like to this day, I still train my roommates.
Is boxing one of the most important, or is wrestling?
I think you need both, but if you're going to have one, go with wrestling.
Yeah.
Because you can just take them down. Anyone can kind of punch right out the gate.
Yeah.
But
so if you're gonna
establishing control while you're on top of someone and being able to punch them, the average boxer can't wrestle.
You know how when the pandemic hit, everyone was like buying guns and shit? So I'm kind of like an idiot. Like, I would never trust myself with a gun. Like, I'm going to be the dude that accidentally like shoots his foot off or something. But I still do feel like that survival instinct kicked in with the pandemic and everything. And I'm like, maybe I should learn how to fight, right? Like, I don't really know how to fight. I played a lot of sports. I wrestled a little bit. I went to one boxing class. So what kind of martial art would you suggest I learn first? It seems like jiu-jitsu is a good beginner's one.
Everyone wants instant gratification. But in jiu-jitsu, it's a long game.
I'm thinking about,
you don't get your next belt in jiu-jitsu till at least 3 years. There's actually mandates now.
Oh. So would you recommend something more like boxing then? Like something that's more quick and like...
You'll see improvement so much faster in boxing. I think jiu-jitsu is a mental... You're a smart guy. You could figure it out. You like to code.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to devote enough time to jiu-jitsu to like really move my way up in the belts.
Yeah. You'll get less damaged just training boxing.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu, you do have a pretty moderate risk of injury.
Okay. Because I could do boxing and maybe some kickboxing. But if I was like Tony, I need survival instincts right now. Something like wrestling or jiu-jitsu would be a better
Number
place.
one.
Number one. Okay. Interesting. So is there anything else you want to talk about MMA? Maybe some of your idols or just some of your...
I really want GSP to come out and fight Conor McGregor or Khabib. Come back out of retirement, homie, please. Just do it. I want to see you win. I want to see you get a third fucking belt in the UFC. That'd be hype. I'd like to see John Jones fight for the heavyweight title. That's going to happen soon, I think.
Any famous boxers you really like?
I'm a big Canelo fan. I like Canelo a lot.
Okay.
He definitely got pushed into the Mayweather fight way too early into his career. Mayweather's really good at picking his fights. I think today he would have a much stronger chance against Mayweather.
So you think Mayweather is undefeated because he picks...
Of course.
His
Are you
fights
kidding me?
like that? Yeah.
I'm basically undefeated because of that. You kidding me?
That's a good point, dude. You're undefeated.
I get to pick my fights.
I'll just fight one time, and if I win, I'll just never fight again.
Then you're good, bro.
Yeah.
Then you're good.
I'll retire
I was telling people I was undefeated at 1-0. I don't care.
You were?
It's a fact.
But Mayweather did like 30 something.
He did like 50 fights or something
50
like
fights.
that, yeah.
That's a lot. But I guess if he's always picking someone that was a little bit under his...
Yeah, people pad their records all the time.
Mm-hmm.
People pad their
records. But I'm surprised the other people were willing to fight him, though, right? Why are they getting in the ring with
money?
him? Yeah, true that.
Boxing is just great.
Would you fight someone you knew was going to kick your ass? How much money?
I would fight today for less than $5,000 in the UFC. Dana White, bring me on. I'll do it. I'll go on a preliminary card tomorrow. This week. No, there's like 3 more fights this month or something like that. I'm about it. Let's do it.
$5,000 is your number to get your ass just kicked.
I mean, it's free publicity. I think that is priceless.
Maybe $10,000 or something.
Well, they don't pay well in the UFC, bro. It's actually, I'm probably asking a lot.
Really?
That's why I stopped fighting, dude.
Oh shit, dude. I mean, these big,
Yeah, they get big
stars.
ballers, but there's never going to be like a Rocky story where they're going to let some nobody come in and knock out their prize fighter or some shit like that.
So you're saying for like beginners, $5,000 is a lot.
Yeah, for beginning pro fighters, yes. When you're young in your career, you fight more often.
Yeah.
And if you win, you get more monies.
True that. At the end of every episode, I just kind of like to talk to my guests about how they think technology is going to impact fitness over the next couple decades. What are your thoughts, dude?
If we could get like video recording, what I really want to see is gyms promote influencers.
Yeah.
Why not share the gym video, the gym content? Influencer gym, where you get your gains and your likes. Some crazy shit like that. And they give you the camera footage. They have cameras from every angle, high quality. You pay for it, obviously, in your gym membership fee, and you get all the content that's face recognized to you. It'd be like twitching, but for the gym.
Yeah, so
Twitch gym. We have to make this happen.
So we were talking, similar ideas a little bit off camera, right? And I was telling you how originally I wanted to build like a smart gym, like brick and mortar, establishment. And in today's day and age, it seems a little bit shaky, right? I've always thought that you need smart equipment, to track your workouts. But I was thinking with something like streaming, if you were like in your house streaming yourself work out, then people online could verify that you're doing what you're doing. So I wouldn't even need smart equipment to track your workouts. You could literally just have a bunch of people watching your stream that are basically verifying the workouts that you're doing.
Like Yelp reviewers for your stream.
And then so imagine this, right? Drive Fitness app is like a streaming Twitch. Maybe we just even do it on Twitch. It doesn't have to be its own platform, but people have my app next to them working out at home, right? We build that online presence up, just like you were saying, we need online presence. And then once that's big and we have enough money, then we open up your Twitch gym, right? Everyone who was on that platform, they're going to want to go work out in these new facilities, right? Like you already did your advertising way ahead of time when you did the in-home gym Twitch streams. Now people go in, everything's recorded, it all blasts to the internet. People are already used. They've been used to seeing the weightlifting streaming kind of situation.
You go to a nice gym, don't you? Lifetime?
Yeah, I've been going to Lifetime right now.
That'd be crazy if they could just give you your like footage, right?
Mm-hmm. That would be crazy, dude.
And then it's like automatically assumed, in the terms and conditions that your face is going to get blurred out for other people's footage.
If you streamed it, it would all have to be real time. Okay, so here's an idea though. Check this out. So
you can blur real time.
I had another idea. It's going to link in with this idea pretty well. So the virtual reality technology where you have the two controllers, they track your hand movements, right? I think a lot about how that technology could be used to track your dumbbells. There's little accelerometers that could like track your reps,
right.
But eventually I want technology to track the whole motion and know this is a bicep curl or this is like a shoulder press. And with the technology from the virtual reality headsets, right, they can track your movement in 3D space. You run that a bunch of times over, and then you use machine learning to kind of find the patterns of each workout. And that way, when people go to the gym, right, the technology knows what you're doing automatically. I'm coming somewhere with this. Ready? But with those technologies, you need your own space, right? You have those two sensors up for your virtual reality, and you can't have a bunch of people like working on top of each other. And so I thought a lot about like, what if at a gym it kind of worked as like almost like a hotel room where you check out a specific room, and you go into that room, right?
Well, it'd be like a racquetball room.
Yeah, something like that. You go in there, there's a bunch of dumbbells and stuff laid out for you, and you check it out. You could have cameras in there like you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Stream that to the internet, and you don't need to worry about people's other faces,
right,
or because I think there would be this whole privacy issue, Yeah. So they could have like these stream rooms, right, where everything, the technology and the stream is just blasted to the internet, what you're doing and what you look like, and then people watch on with you. It could cost money maybe to go into these rooms, but okay, if you're like now an influencer, like you were saying, to pay to get into these rooms, you're also becoming a new type of like gym influencer. Yeah, it's helping you in all other ways online.
I like it. They already have like racquetball rooms and shit like that. And if they could profit off of them, real estate in the gym seems high, and then I feel maybe less people are going to go to the gym now. They need to use the real estate they have. I feel like gyms are kind of always crowded. A lot of them are. I
feel like gyms are going to start to like die down a little bit, right, because of the pandemic.
But the rise of the in-home gym.
Yeah. That's why I kind of want to get working on some in-home gym equipment, to put online just in case, the next 5 or 10 years is very bad for a brick and mortar establishment. But I think down the road, once everyone gets used to the online, like smart equipment from your in-home gym streaming thing, then you can see a rise in gyms again, like 10-15 years from now with your like Twitch gym kind of idea. It'd be like a new kind of
these
thing.
These Gen Z kids, they're about being in front of the camera. The culture's the younger. I'm about being in front of. You are, obviously.
What are we doing?
What are we doing here?
Yeah, what are we doing right now, man?
People are gonna just be about it. We build to that. That's like, hey, this is your streaming gym with the equipment. Obviously they need the equipment to even run that concept down. But if it builds on top of it, if there's multiple ways to monetize stuff, more possible to make it happen.
Just like we were saying, like, why have a conversation almost these days if you're not recording it on a podcast, right? Yep. Like you're missing out on a window of opportunity when you and your friend are hanging out now to like be online and making a presence and selling your shit. Same thing for working out. Like it's gonna be like, why are you going to work out in the dark when you just stream yourself to the internet? And people maybe they'll tune in, maybe not, but you could start making, a living doing that. People can make money gaming. They can make money lifting, dude.
A 7-year-old made like $27 million last year or something like that off of YouTube ads.
Or get this, Logic, the rapper, right? He just retired and became a Twitch streamer. He realized I can make 7 figures playing video games because my rap, it's not fun to be an old rapper. What about an NFL player, right? You get like Tom Brady or someone retires, and what are they going to do with the rest of their life? Yeah. They are going to coach football or something, or they could be like a celebrity streamer now that works out and like throws footballs around and shit on a fucking camera in like a fucking celebrity gym. Everyone's going to tune into that. Yeah. They're going to keep making their millions and billions of dollars.
It keeps them safer too. If a fighter tries to make a comeback, like give them other ways to monetize their time, right?
Yeah.
Like you're saying.
Someone like Mike Tyson, right?
He's making money 100 different ways right now. I think that
I know,
fighting again is for fun.
But he's still working out, right?
Right.
So he's
yes.
even though he's making money 100 different ways, he's missing that window of opportunity. Where
I was about to say
himself.
it. Would I pay to watch Mike Tyson work out? Probably.
People never thought they would tune into people playing video games. You know what I'm saying?
No.
But the thing is, the Gen Zers, they like to have 4 screens up, right? And they're doing one thing, another thing, and they're streaming a video game. Add a fucking Mike Tyson working out to that, and you're not really spending all your energy watching Mike Tyson. You're tweeting and you're doing other things.
Yeah. So this is your 10th episode. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. What's changed? Like, has your perception changed of all this? Do you feel different from your first one? Obviously, you know, I don't want to say performance, but like your performance, our performance, it's gotten better, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, but other than that, like, do you feel different? Do you think different? Do you perceive anything different?
Every episode, I have like a more calmness to me, like a more just like at home, like at peace with it. Some people feel like at home when they're in the gym or whatever, like, you know, it's weird being on camera, but now I'm becoming more in tune, you know, with who I am on camera, I guess. And I'm more confident in my like online personality, I guess.
What about your outside? Does it affect your permanent, like your perma-Tommy?
It's crazy because I don't just have these conversations, right? I have this conversation and then I go edit it for like hours. Like it takes me a long time to edit some of these videos. And so whatever topic we're talking about, I'm just constantly thinking about for the next like 2-3 days. I'm like editing this video. You really
digest it.
And everything you tell me, I hear it 3 times over, right?
Damn, you're learning. You're definitely going to learn that.
Well, and then guess what? Then I post the video and then everyone starts tuning in. I'm like, wait, let me go feel like how other people are perceiving this. So then I go listen to it in the car and then I go listen to it in the gym. Maybe listen to each episode 3 more times. Then it gets ingrained like 6 or 7 times over. That's why I didn't want this podcast to be like fun or like silly. I wanted it to be full of information and like educational, because then for me that information gets cemented in my head like almost 10 times over.
Do you think that'll change if you have like help later?
I think I'll always edit them. What I hope to happen is that over time I get better and better talking on the mic, where I don't have to edit as much. So like I said, maybe I spend, 6 or 7 hours editing a video. I hope that I'm so good at talking to you and setting you up to what to say that even though maybe my guest isn't like that good at talking, we didn't really miss a step. If they start going off in the wrong direction, I'll pull them back, and like my editing will only be like a half hour or an hour. And then, no matter how rich I am, like I could still just do my editing myself. And then that knowledge kind of gets cemented in. And then that affects my life, right? If I learn about fitness or whatever, I start working out more or paying attention more to my marketing or whatever topic it is. Yeah. It's not just the knowledge. Then I do see that actually like take shape in my own life. Like I care a lot more about my health than I did before I started this podcast, because, you talk to other, fitness experts who know things or excited about things. It either makes you excited or makes you feel like out of shape and you're like, I got to get in shape. Or talking to you and Blase both made me realize that like my advertisement campaign is just really not great at the moment. So that's definitely going to take shape in my life, like for sure. So switch topics and with some strong motivational idea or something.
This pandemic, it's been 6 months already. You can make some change happen. You can really do something with your extra time. If you're working from home now, you have extra time now. If you have an ache in your body, go ahead, do some physical therapy, rehab it out. If you wanted to spend more time with your kids, I mean, really, this is a small moment in our lives. A year is not shit in the human life. We're only 6 months into this. You could really change yourself in your future. It's compounding. Do something every day that's going to help you. I started waking up at 5 a.m. I try to get a couple things done before work. Try to get some shit done after work. Really look for the future. Make some goals. It's been hard for me to think like past 4 or 5 years, but what do you want to do for the rest of your life? What do you want to have a possibility to do? If you're not even stepping into the ring, you're not going to win. So go ahead, give it 100%. Try something new and really enjoy it, because I think while some shit might be hard, it'll be nice looking back that, hey, at least I enjoyed it. I learned something. I had fun doing it. I gave my all. That's the best way to not regret anything.
Preach, Tony.
My coach used to tell me, my wrestling coach, excuses are like buttholes. Everyone's got one, and they stink.
All right. On that note, guys, we are going to end this episode. I can't think of a better way.
Let me get my last plug for my company. InstinctAnalyticsMarketing.com. We're on Twitter with Market with Data. Okay. We're on Instagram, Instinct Analytics. We're on Facebook as well. Please give it all a like and follow.
All right. Sounds good, man. Thanks for tuning in to the episode. If you want more exclusive content, check us out at patreon.com/drivefitness.